Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ofotu, and a beautiful morning to everyone watching today. You're tuned into Sunrise on ANEKE TV, where every sunrise starts with that delightfulness, that beautiful joy, and of course, that special sunrise vibes to help us throughout our day. And bringing you sunrise today, I am Deborah Wakba.
And good morning to you, our global audience. I'm Uche Osai, and Deborah, you're looking good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're getting ready for the weekend, right?
Nope.
Okay, so wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful morning. We're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and of course, it's Thursday, 18th December 2025, and it's another new edition, another bright new day of sunrise on ANEKE TV. And today we've got you that full package or power-packed morning where we give you our latest stories, what's trending, our entertainment, sports, our news updates, and of course, that special sunrise vibe to help us throughout the day.
So, grab that cup of coffee or tea, relax, enjoy the ride, because the sunrise is here.
All right, now we'll be starting off with our quote of the day, with words that are thoughtful, words that are inspiring, words that offer insight to whatever we do to keep us focused and stay well driven.
Then it's straight into the day's top headlines. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be served hot and tasty.
Yes, and after that, we'll be giving you our weather forecast for today, covering major cities across the southeast and beyond, so you know what to expect before you step out.
And later we'll wrap things up with some fun global celebrations to lift your spirit and leave you smiling.
All right, now let's move over to our morning show inspiration segment, where the quote says today, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Now this quote is an anonymous quote that says a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Now this quote is gentle but powerful reminder about growth and change. Now we're talking about our comfort zone being safe, our familiar spaces where things feel easy and predictable. It's beautiful because there's peace there, no pressure, no fear, no risks. But the message today is clear, stating that when we stay too long in our comfort zone, it limits us to our potentials. Also, it's also saying, whether personal, professional, emotional, that when we grow personally, professionally, or emotionally, usually we should try something new, we should take risks, we should face uncertainty, and also push past our fear. Now it's also advising us to move away from our comfort zone into a more or just simply saying we should think outside the box, and not every time we're trying the same thing all over and all over again. Now also, it's also saying just like muscles don't grow without resistance, people don't grow without challenge. Now if you're constant in one particular place, if you're doing the same thing every day, if you're staying on the same pace, you'd find out you would not grow. There will be no change, but instead we should try shifting away from our comfort zone. Mr. Uche, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one.
All right, this morning, this is a very straightforward one, coming from, we're being told not to relax for long, that when we get over comfortable from where we are, then you begin to see that perhaps there's no longer room for growth. For you to excel in life, for you to grow, for you to make headway, you need to get out of your comfort zone. So you need not be afraid of situation, thinking ahead of what you're going to witness. Rather, make that move. It's just like telling us to take a step first. Then when we take that step, they say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Yeah. So you take that step. Do not be afraid to take that initial step. Just like a little baby, when you see a baby crawling and you want to get the baby to to stand up, you see that they are very, very scared. Yeah. And then immediately you see them, they're able to stand. One very interesting thing is that once they're able to stand on their feet, even before they get very stable, they want to start running. That's what kids usually do. You see that by standing up, they're able to overcome fear. And that's what every one of us should be able to do, either in our professional life, in our family life, as a business person, wherever you are. Is it in Nobwete market, or you're in main market, or you're in Alaba International market? Is market everywhere. Once you get comfortable at that domain where you are, look at expansion beyond your line, beyond your sphere. If you've been a distributor for long, start looking at importation. when you grow into importation and you've imported for long, why not become a manufacturer? And that's what this quote is telling us this morning, that we shouldn't just relax at our comfort zone. Why you begin to fear about how do I get into importation? You don't need to start importing 20 feet at a time. No, start with what you say, you combine with people. Start getting as little as you can, and technology has made it easier that you can bring in not just in 20 feet containers, but through collaboration with people. You're able to bring in, even if it's half of 10 feet, you're able to bring in, then start from there. You can get into being able to, get in 20 feet. And from importation, don't relax, don't relent, don't remain there. Yes, there are challenges, but with one step at a time, you'll be able to overcome that challenge. And then from importing 20, 40 feet containers, look at manufacturing that product yourself. You take account what will it cost me to be able to produce these products in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, and that's how you grow. If you remain more comfortable at the point of where you are importing, then you see that other people may go into manufacturing, and then your prices can no longer, you can't compete with the manufacturers here, whereas you can be able to take advantage of that insight by going into manufacturing. Are you in your workplace and you're scared of going on courses, enriching yourself, getting people around you for you to learn from and then impart on them? Then you will become stagnant and you will see yourself someone fresh. The Harvard boys, like what they say, they will bring a young Harvard boy to come and head you in your department. So you shouldn't be scared to relate with people. Take courses, don't stay stagnant, don't remain at that point. Do not be afraid to learn new things. Then go out, improve yourself, and you see yourself by taking that discomfort, you're moving out of your comfort zone to learn new things. And I tell you, I met people, while growing up, men, some of them whom you see on television, who do not know how to, press a computer. They will call you to come and check their email for them. And they're in these organizations, and there's a point who like, sir, you can learn this thing, you can be able to do this thing. You say, are you serious? At my age? Yes. Then we organized a workshop where some of them who were interested began to learn the computer, and before you know it, they're able to handle their things themselves. You no longer need to bring in someone new, you understand, to do that part of the job. By sending them home, that you're getting younger people who are techie savvy, right? Now they can operate the system themselves, they can do all the work, they can bring in their weight of experience because they were able to move out of their comfort zone and learn new things. And those of them who refuse to learn new things were shipped out. That's what we're saying. With you taking that risk, moving out of your comfort zone, you will acquire new knowledge. You will have the opportunity to expand beyond where you are. It's never easy, baby. It's not going to be easy. No, it's not. There's a lot of challenges associated with it. But just like that little baby, take that first step. You'll see that you will be able to run.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now, please, wherever you are this morning, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, trying something new like learning a skill, chasing a dream, making a bold decision, just try and remember this, that discomfort might just be an answer of growth, or rather it might be the sound of growth happening. So if you're having this discomfort in trying something new, just remember that it's not easy, and also we should try and move away from our comfort zone and try something new. Let's be bold enough to take that risk. Let's be bold enough to take that first step towards change. And also, please do not forget that each new sunrise is a platform or an opportunity for us to grow. It's an avenue where we try something new or simply be more present in whatever we do. And let us know what this quote means to you. You can drop your thoughts on our social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, all at ANEKE TV. Or call our phone number 070-3043-7117. And up next is the weather report.
Yes, next we'll take a look at the weather reports across major cities in the southeast today.
Yes, I'll be starting off with Oka. In Oka, expect dry vibes with lots of sunshine. As the day warms up, you wake up to pleasant sunshine, and by midday, things will heat up nicely, perfect for some outdoor plans. Temperatures roughly at 25 to 33 degrees Celsius with plenty of sunny moments and very high UV. So sunscreen is your friend.
All right, good morning, Enugu. Over to the coast city. You will enjoy a mix of sunshine and some clouds. Morning stars mild. By early afternoon, you are cruising into warm territory. It will feel like a lovely tropical day. Expect highs around 34 to 35 degrees Celsius with warming sunshine and gentle clouds, helping keep the heat comfy.
Yes, and in Abakaliki, good morning Abakaliki, the sun will be out and about with cloud patches keeping things interesting. Warm temperatures around 33 to 35 degrees Celsius will dominate, so it will be perfect, sunny with cloud friends vibe.
And good morning Imo State. Over to Owerri is another beautiful southeast morning. Expect toasty temperatures peaking in the low 30 degrees Celsius with clouds drifting by and giving the sun a little break here and there. Daytime highs near 34 degrees Celsius with comfy warm evenings.
And in Umahia, it's a lovely day. Umahia today will bring warm and partly cloudy skies with just enough cloud cover to keep the sun from getting too intense. Temperatures will tick up towards the low 20 degrees Celsius with a bright feel overall.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light, enjoy your morning, your afternoon, but do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather report across major cities in the southeast today. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with more updates. The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the Insight with Uche Osai on ANEKE TV. Join us.
You're still watching Sunrise on ANEKE TV. Now we're taking a look at major stories across the headlines today, and also we're starting from the Punch, Vanguard, and the Guardian newspaper. And joining us today, we have Good Hope Chukuma with us on our newspaper review. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sunrise.
Yes, Mr. Good Hope, it's always wonderful to see you smiling in the morning like this.
Thank you so much. I now made this my brother.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, all right, thank you very much. Now let's move over to our headlines from our paper today, starting from the Nation headline that says 2024-2025 budget, Tinubu 6 not to 43.56 trillion naira. And on the Punch headline says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. And in the Vanguard headline, it reads Dangote quake, Farouk falls. And in the Guardian headline says tax reforms push back revenue crisis threaten 2026 fiscal plan. And our paper today starting from the Punch headline that says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. There's been a major shake-up in Nigeria's oil and gas regulatory world. The bosses of two key agencies, which is the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, known as the NMDPRA, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, known as NUPRC, have resigned from their posts amid a high-profile dispute involving billionaire industrialist Aliko Dangote. Now, Dangote publicly accused the outgoing NMDPRA boss of corruption and mismanagement, demanding a probe into how fuel imports and regulations will be handled, especially ways, he says, undermined local refining efforts. Mr. Auta, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
All right. Excuse me. Looking at that headline this morning, seeing the resignation of these gentlemen, and I beg you, help me through that headline one more time.
All right. It says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector.
For me, this is not surprising. It's been long in the
Overdue.
making. You understand? Remember that there's been an ongoing infighting in the petroleum sector since Dangote came on stream, right? You will see that between the various factors or factions that that come into equation when the oil sector, the petroleum sector, both the upstream and the downstream sector is involved. There's been this clash even with importers and marketers of petroleum products in Nigeria. And so when I see this headline this morning, I for one, I am not shocked. But what is more shocking is that the business mogul himself is now ready, has folded his sleeves and is ready for a total fight. You will not forget that since December 12th, where Dangote called for the reduction in price of PMS, where he reduced the S-Depot or S-Gantry price from PMS from 828 naira to 699 naira per liter, which is about 129 rate cuts from the per liter, which is very huge. And he gave that order that the petroleum should be sold, at not more than 740 naira, and the fleet station MRS being controlled by the Dangote refinery, has complied to this very directive. You know that there are many people who are asked because they are losing money. Talk about the importers and depot owners, you understand, are bound to lose money as they are forced to slash their prices as a result of this directive from the Dangote refinery. They are not happy with this whole scenario, which like I did tell you, would lead to more infighting in the petroleum sector. And having said all that, I may shock you that it's estimated that from what had been imported as of November, that these importers and depot owners will lose as much as 258 billion naira, and nobody would want to lose such amount smiling. They will get up for a fight. But more interesting is that Dangote, came out to accuse Farouk Ahmed of the NMDPRA of economic sabotage, and telling ICPC, the corruption agencies, to investigate how he is able to afford to pay 5 million for his children's school fees. That there should be investigated. How did he come about such homogeneous amount? That they should check his earnings throughout his career. How was he able to afford $5 million to pay for school fees in Switzerland? And that is a very, very big allegation. And this morning we are being told that the Farouk Ahmed of NMDPR has resigned with his counterpart Benga Kumulafe in the upstream sector. But beyond the resignation of these two gentlemen, the president has gone ahead to appoint new persons for subject to clearance by the Senate, to take over the various positions. But for me this morning, what is more particular to me is not the resignation of these gentlemen, but is that we do not sweep this under the carpet because they've resigned from office. I think that there should be thorough investigation as well, because the allegation is weighty, and coming from Dangote himself makes it even more believable. But like they say, it's not just about resignation. These gentlemen have to be brought to account. Let us know it's interesting, the Nigerian populace, because a long time ago people have been calling for probe into the Nigerian petroleum sector. Do remember that we were shouting about it over time, giving about how many $1 million that's been voted for the rehabilitation of the Nigerian refineries. The 4 refineries up to this moment are not producing up to the maximum, up to even the minimum requirements of these refineries. And I can tell you, like we always do, that if these refineries are up to par, they will be able to compete favorably with Dangote refinery. But because they are not working, we want to know where this huge investment went to. Until this moment, we've not been told the outcome of that very investigation. We still want to know. And amidst that whole investigation, here we've seen an allegation of another corruption, talking about economic sabotage coming from Dangote himself. So men who are in public sphere should be well accountable. They should be held accountable, and they should be able to account for the moments where they are in office. If they are enriching themselves from the public position that they are occupying, $5 million for your children, you know, is such a homogeneous amount that one should be able to explain how it comes about this whole kind of money. Are you been in the sabotage of making the Dangote refinery not to function effectively? Remember the myriads of strikes that we witnessed as a result since Dangote industry has come on stream. And this price lash that we see this period is about the 20th price lash, which in all, even though not very good for the marketers and the importers of petroleum products, but for the consumers in Nigeria, it is quite welcome for them, you know, and that we are still looking forward. The average consumer, the Nigerian consumer, are still looking forward for more reduction. You understand? So they do not understand when the marketers and importers, you know, go and daggers drawn and to Dangote refineries, you know, for them it should be in such a way that petroleum is affordable to the generality of Nigeria. After all, their country, Nigeria, produces crude oil, so they do not see the reason why they should be, you know, buying fuel at 740 naira in the first place. But that does not take away that Dangote, in his, you know, kindness, has given the Nigerians a Christmas to remember. And with this, we are not expecting to see queues at the fleet station as is usual during festive period in Nigeria. So, but having said that, like I did mention, the issue here is a very weighty one and should go beyond the resignation of this very gentleman. There should be a thorough investigation, and for me, this investigation should be made public, you know, and the outcome, you know, when they are found culpable to, because the allegation of economic sabotage in other crimes can attract as maximum of life imprisonment. So people shouldn't just walk away freely like that, you know, because you've been accused and then you resign either forcefully or voluntarily. But what matters is that the government should see that the law takes its course. If at the end of the day they are investigated and they are found culpable, they should be prosecuted as a deterrent to other people, you know, because now we're seeing that the legislature would go ahead to clear. I know the president has submitted new names for clearance, one a man and a female, who were told have gathered experience from the petroleum industry, and we expected that they will be able to bring their knowledge on board as well. But by prosecuting this individual, not just the newcomers into the sectors, but all public office holders should know that at one point or the other they will be held accountable for their, you know, to account for their stewardship. And the Nigerian people should not be shortchanged for any reason at all. So for me, I am happy that yes, they've resigned, but I will be happier to see that the law takes its course. But if at the end of the day they are found innocent, then the Dangote himself should be able to apologize, and beyond apologizing, you understand, he should equally, you know, see to it that they will sanitize this environment. This rancor shouldn't be there. And I tell you why I am most angry about it, why you're witnessing this rancor, is because it's only Dangote refinery. He has come to change the narrative, you know, and change is not easily accepted by everybody. If the Nigerian refineries were working, Dangote would be facing stiff competition from the Nigerian refineries. Look at the Kaduna refinery that is not working. Is it producing? Go to the Warren refinery, move down to Port Harcourt. Are they producing? They should have given Dangote the necessary, you know, competition, not the importers of petroleum products, which Dangote has come out to claim that they bring in adulterated, inferior quality products that his own is straightly refined, you know, and up to international standard. And the competition, like I do say, should have been with the Nigerian refineries and Dangote. But one thing that should not be taken away is that we should encourage more refineries to come on board. At the end of the day, it will be good for consumers, it will be good for the narrative of Nigerians as well. So, Mr. Goodhope.
Okay, so looking at this issue of the boss resigning from the whole thing, you understand that several things has happened over the years where someone is accused of something and then they go on to say they are not doing work again. We have seen this happening over and over. We saw it happening even in Enugu State, where there was a little issue, and the minister said he's not going to continue again. He resigned, not because of on any account of anything actually, but it's just on an account of things not properly taken into account. Just like Mr. Tucci have said, many times it's good that not just as people resigning, but as you have said, let these things be taken up. Let the cases be taken up, because if it is taken up, it will give an establishment of due justice, due process, that not you don't just want to escape from the pitch or from wherever you are, saying, okay, you are tired, you're not doing it again because you are accused. I feel myself that the boss should come and as he has resigned, he should also be investigated. He should also face some panels as he has been accused. Looking at what Dangote said initially, you understand that he himself, Dangote, is informed. He knows how much this guy is in. He knows how much, as someone in the oil sector, he knows how much that goes into these people's accounts. He knows how much they in from the federal government. He knows how much, he knows the game of the import and export. Now, if he has accused someone of having to sponsor an extra curricular activities with an extra amount of money, that means that there's something that we need to see. But that is up to the federal government, and that is up to the person who we are investigating on. That's up to the people who I'm sure that in the next 2 months, by next 1 month, basically, we'll see the end of this, because it's not just going to end by investigation. It's going to also end by the two parties coming together and the rancor, being taken away. That's what I really feel about the whole matter of this.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Now moving over to the next paper from The Nation headline that says 2024-2025 budgets, Tinubu 6 nod to spend 43.56 trillion naira. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally written to the House of Representatives and the Senate asking lawmakers to approve a consolidated 43.56 trillion naira budget that blends part of its end and that blends parts of the 2024 and 2025 federal spending plans into a single unified framework. This move aims to end the practice of running multiple budgets at the same time, which the president says will improve transparency, accountability, and performance in government spending. And the budget includes funding for things like statutory transfers, debt service, recurrent non-debt spending, capital and development projects.
All right, Mr. Goodhope, let's hear from you first on this.
Okay, so looking at this budget that Mr. President wants to present to the House tomorrow, and seeing the things around it, it is giving this vibe that there's more coming in 2026. But then we are going to see that most of the budgets, or some of the budgets, because Nigeria, from what we have seen this year, has also been servicing debt, and some of the some percentage of this money will go into debt services from what we have seen. I'm sure that at the end of the day we're going to see a government who are willing to make the progress, but the progress may not make, because seeing it that when you're trying to build something and that thing keeps coming back and that thing keeps coming back, and then there's not enough room for what is being given. He borrowed just he gave a permission. He tried to take a permission from the House of Reps the other time to take some loan. And looking at the whole thing about Nigeria and the way we have been servicing debt, and looking at the budget we have right now, there's a lot on ground to even tackle, and I believe that at the end of the day, he will present it, and if they approve it, if they give assent, if they endorse it, then we move on and we see what 2026 will be like. All I know is that once it's budget and it's being presented and it's being given assent and it's being delivered, everything will just start going. But it's now dependent on the federal government to know where they want to, or to do what they have already said they will do with the budget. Not just the budget, but what are you doing with the budget? Not just telling us what the budget is or how much or what you are planning to do. What are you doing with the budget? Are you doing the actual thing you said you want to do with the budget? And we'll see what happens over the time.
All right, that's quite apt. Know that very soon the president will be going to the legislature. There will be a joint sitting of the legislature, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, where he will present the bill that you talked about. But most interestingly is that the president, is asking for the legislature to approve the appropriation bill for 2024-25 fiscal year. Nigeria runs budgets concurrently, where you see the 2024-2025 budget still running in 2025. Usually, though it's not a making of this administration, during the previous administration, the era of former President Muhammadu Buhari, we saw where perhaps the 2023 budget is still in play with the 2024, and you are asking, you are still presenting the 2025 budget, just like Mr. President will be going to present the appropriation bill for asking for this appropriation bill to be approved for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, whereas we are now presenting the budget for 2026. So Mr. President is asking that this time around they give approval to this budget, and this will harmonize the budgeting. Will no longer need to have multiple concurrent budgets running at the same time. And in his words, he said that this will ensure the delivery of unprecedented high capital performance across 2024-2025 budget cycle. Most importantly, what is interesting for me is that Mr. President realizes that it is not a good financial practice for us to run concurrent budgets at the same time, and asking the legislature to approve 43.56 trillion naira to bring everything together and end this concurrent running of budget is quite commendable. But beyond that, you just brought out another very pertinent issue, which is that the majority of this budget will not be seen to go into capital expenditure, but into servicing of debts. And then the question now becomes, why are we still in debt when we are being told that we are generating a lot of revenue, that there's more revenue available and being shared with between the the federating units? The subnationals are said to have more access to finance now more than any government in places. The withdrawal, the removal of oil subsidy, right? So the issue should be that Nigeria should go inwards, look and think how we will stop this culture of borrowing and be able to generate more revenue, from away from not just oil but other means, talk about other resources that we have about, because we'll talk about Nigeria having very arable farmland. When you take away the security situation and we are to cultivate the land that we have, we will not just be able to feed just ourselves, but we will have extra for export, and these areas are not yet harnessed, right? So very apt for you to bring it to attention that we've been a debtor nation, we've been borrowing, and we should move away from that. But for me, despite the homogeneous amount of 3.something trillion, if that will bring an end to this financial rascality where budgets continue to run concurrently, I do not know any other nation in the world where you have multiple budgets running at the same time. But if this will bring it to an end, let's see sanity in budget implementation. Because when we are talking about the president will be going to the legislature, like he correctly observed, to make a presentation of the 2026 budget. How do we see areas that the previous budget, do you understand? Where have they not failed? Where have you not applied enough resources? And then how do you bring that into the 2026 budget? Then it begins to beg a lot of questions.
Yes, of course. Because looking at the 2020, this budget that is, like I said, it's more on debt. Some percentage we go into debt servicing, and looking at that debt servicing, you will see that just that debt service part of the budget can help the insecurity that we have been facing, can help to fund the our security agencies and get them the right tools, equipment for their job. That is actually what is needed. That's how we can get these things together. But finding, like we talked about, if this budget currently does not, if it can help to end the surge of borrowing that has been going on over the years, Or we could say that if it could end the, can just round up the whole thing, so that at the end of the day we can say there's no point.
Mr. Goodhope, first of all, being able to end, a practice of multiple budgets running concurrently, should be a very healthy practice for us.
It's a very healthy
going forward.
But looking at it being a healthy practice and moving forward, you know that there are other things that have not been done from the other budgets that were
But we know from what Mr. President is saying is that this will enable us, be able to achieve. There are many areas they needed to funding, you understand, and with this appropriation, if passed, will enable them, allocate resources to that area, and then be able to conclusively end the 2024-2025 budget, and then be able to start when they get approval for the 2026. We're still heading into 2026, and this budget will still continue to run. Then by 2026 budget, we'll now see a single budget system implementation, not where you have 2024, 2025, 2026 budgets running concurrently.
Okay. Now, seeing from what is on ground, we are seeing that this is just to round up the budgets that have been running.
Yes.
And also to facilitate what is coming.
Yes.
But then we still have the 2026 budget that will still be presented. Or if it will not be presented, or if we are not going to do budget in 2026, we'll do borrowing.
Yes, no, there's no way a government can work with our budget.
Yes.
But what we're saying is that yes, he's presenting the 2026 budget, which the legislature will go in, they take their time, look into the budget. By the time they pass the bill, assenting to the budget and returning it to the president for assent, you understand, we'll still have to see through the remainder of the 2024-2025 budget. What Mr. President is saying, they need fund. That's why they've gone for appropriation. They're asking for that power to be able to appropriate this money to see to it that the 2024-2025 budget, cycle is well implemented. But going into 2026, we will now have a single budget running. Yes, and that's why I say it's a very healthy practice for a nation like Nigeria, because a lot of investors will not take us serious, when they can't really say which budget are you running, and how do you hold ministers accountable to say, okay, this money that we voted for 2023, this is the level of implementation, and how did you transit from there to going forward? So
and what have you
achieved? So because we've got to measure the tangibles, right? So with this, I think it will give Nigeria a very good upliftment and very good financial practice going forward. And for that, I am, commending Mr. President that we should be able to harmonize, have a single budget going forward as a nation.
All right, thank you very much for that. And now let's take what is trending on the news today, where it says court bans Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force against from enforcing tinted permits policy. Now, Delta State High Court at Orero yesterday has issued an injunction stopping the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force from enforcing the tinted glass permits policy nationwide, and also the order was granted in response to a legal challenge questioning the legality of the policy and halt any enforcement actions, including stopping, arresting, detaining or fining motorists over tinted glass with the substantive case is decided.
All right, Mr. Goodhope, this is a very,
very
yes, because, Nigerians, everybody has been clamoring at some people going to remove tint from their car. Yeah. And the question, there are cars that come with tint.
Yes.
That there's nothing you can do about it. And yes, and this whole issue of tint permits and all that has been on. The police has been giving warning, extended the period. And now we are seeing another legal angle to it, where a court of competent jurisdiction has, given the order that shouldn't be. What's your opinion on this?
It's important to me to say that most of the instructions, most of the injunctions of courts, especially to the police force on this matter, what they actually said, especially this one, is a necessary tool for the masses, people that have their cars come with tints, to know that their there's still justice that can prevail in Nigeria. That's the basics of it. Secondly, is that there are some of the cars, like you said, that comes with tints. That they come with tinted glass, and you can't go to remove it. When this whole thing started, it was on the basis of health. If you have a health problem, you can now go. You cannot even go to the police to get a tinted glass permit, and they give it to you. If that was what they were looking at, if you don't have a health challenge or something, because that was all they were looking at. Or they wanted to, decriminalize the society and bring in transparency in their security process to also ensure that people comply to other things. I'm not going to talk about the ecological factors that comes with this. Also talking about, but you know that modern cars that we have these days, most of them comes with things, especially looking at the geographical side of the place where we are coming from. There's a lot of sun. We're not going to talk about those things, but we're talking about the police.
No, Mr. Goodov, we'll look at those things. We have to look at it comprehensively.
Okay.
First of all, when the police are talking about, removing the tint permits,
Yes.
and ordering every motorist to remove tint,
Yeah.
they come from the security aspects, given the security situation
Yes,
that the
yes.
nation has found itself in.
Yes.
A number of times we were told that these criminal elements export and move with ammunition in these tinted cars. They kidnap people in the tinted cars and are able to transit from one point to the other.
Yeah.
So we have to discuss this holistically.
Of course, we have to discuss it holistically. But where it is getting interesting right now is that they themselves that have made the rules, should start considering the people. Just like the other day, the VIPs were an instruction, or it was still on process. Yesterday, the VIPs that would have been taken from this police that would have been taken from the VIPs would have been used yesterday for that protest, NLC protest. Now that same thing goes to the police, because them having to say, if you don't have if you have a car and you have a tinted glass, you must come and take permits. Then we know that not every car you say is a police car. Not every car, not every vehicle you say is from the Nigerian police. But of course, you know other ones. But what I'm saying is, generally, it does not have any effect. Mostly talking about the fact that there are kidnappings going on with tinted glasses. It has been happening, and it happens everywhere. It keeps happening, but we are looking at the security system and the society and the police, of course, to work together with the people to bring in these things to curb it. Looking at that, for me, I feel like the tinted glass issue is not something that should, be a problem. Basically, because we need to go down to the root of insecurity. We need to go down to the root of insecurity.
So in your opinion, you feel that the place should let it be?
Let it be, because we are not, tinted glass permit or not does not
stop insecurity.
insecurity.
But we have to start from somewhere.
We have starting from somewhere does not start from tinted glass permits. Because how many people, I want to say this, I don't know how to put it, but let me put it clearly. We have a particular region in the country where the people who are involved in insecurity, they don't go with tinted glasses.
Really?
Yes, they don't. They don't go.
Let's not profile any region, but what I'm looking at, let's bring the lady into this conversation.
Okay. Well, I want to support what he said about tinted glasses or not does not stop insecurity. Yeah, and he also said there are regions where you don't see people kidnapping someone in tinted glasses. Of course, if tinted glasses is something that they use to transport a kidnapped victim or something, there are police on the streets. They stop and search.
You wind down.
Yes, you wind down. They search your. You've seen a scenario where police officers are searching a car. Now, if you say tinted glasses are being used, there are cases where people are even kidnapped using this motorcycle. Like they don't know where they are. Yes, you can use, and so the tinted glasses now is not an avenue to stop insecurity. Like when you said, is looking deep down on those people, sponsoring those people that how would I put it? Those people that sponsor insecurity, that support them. Yes, is to look down on the grassroots and not just implementing a law that you need to have a permit before you.
Now, I don't want to play a devil's advocate here, but let's look things like, I want to play a good hope advocate for the police in this matter. Remember that the police, first of all, when we start talking about this, there is issue of insecurity, one. Then at the other way around, I was thinking that you make the argument because of weather situation.
Weather
And
situations
then a
would
bad
help.
side. Now, before I begin to talk about insecurity, let's look at why do we have tint. It's against the weather, the harsh weather condition that we have in Africa, where there is heavy sun, do you understand? And when you drive against the sun, sometimes it can affect the driver. So the manufacturers tend to, have these tints, right, to help you as a shield against the sunlight, the heavy sun rays that we have in Africa, right? That's number one. And two, for you to get a tint permit, because there's something as a tint permit, that you must have an eye condition that when exposed to the sun could be a danger to the society as a motorist, right? So you go get certification from the hospitals, then the police gives you that permit to have a tint. Then over time, here is where I want to, look at the police issue for a while. You see that people are abusing it. Not exempting the police now. You just walk in, you get the permit, and even if you don't have the permit, you just drive by the corner, pull up, pay 2,000 naira, you get a permit, and then you begin to roll with it without getting the police permit. Then, from the police angle, we've seen situation where, if you talk about stop and search, we've seen where the policemen on duty are attacked simply because the people in that car, they were not able to see through before they got to the checkpoint. So without without the things, the police should be able to see through the car, be able to intelligently decipher the disposition of people who are in this car. For example, if you've been on a checkpoint at night and you see a car filled with hefty men approaching, you'll be able to take some let's say measure, you understand, protective measure in case of emergency. You know that, okay, these are multiple people in this very car. Your disposition will be different when you see a lone driver coming forward. You won't be able to know this if it's a tinted car, right? And on that ground, talking about kidnapping, do you understand? Yes, but what police are saying is that generality of everybody, not just the VIPs, everybody, do you understand, is you're able to have access to know who is in what. When people are not shielded in their cars, they're able to, people know that, okay, this is what's going on, this is this person driving, you see the face of the driver, you see the number of occupants. If there is a kidnap victim inside or whatever, you're able to note that. So that helps the police in sanitizing and policing the sciences.
In sanitizing. The question is, will the police themselves, will the VIPs themselves, this law, is it just for, this law that was turned down by the court, is it just for the masses, or is it also for the government? Because, we have seen a situation where in the government, not just now, but earlier in the days where laws are being given, and the government themselves, for instance, in some areas in Nigeria, there is this thing about traffic laws, but we always see that most of the government officials, or well-meaning Nigerians who drive luxury cars, would beat the traffic. Now, that's not even just what I'm saying. I want to drive home that point you made about them being able to decipher who comes or who is driving through. Remember, you said something about in the nights. Night is night. Night is night. Whether it is brighter night or darker night, it is night. And looking at the conditions of what happens right now, especially just like in the news the other day, in Kwara State, over there and there, a lot of things happened that relates to all the things within insecurity. When you look at it from this end, I am saying that, of course, the police, they are trying to get in to make sure that everyone plays, that they know who drives through, and they know who brings, or they know who is coming towards them, and so that they can guide. We call it guiding, so that they can guide.
All right.
But then, what I think is that this tinted permit issue, thank God it's turned down, and thank God it's not Like, thank God it's turned down, and I don't thank God that it is turned down. It's just, I'm just in the middle because of what? Whatever that will foster the growth and peace and sustainability of the society, especially in security, is good for everyone. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
All right.
So whatever.
All right.
I
I understand your fears in terms of abuse. Abusing the removal of tint permit.
Exactly.
That if the VIPs will obey the law as well, but we shouldn't, because of abuse, shy away from something that will help the society. And given this pronouncement, I expect that the police should go to court to challenge this order as well. This does not say that I do not, for one, I want to drive in a tinted car sometimes, you understand, but I hope that police are able to challenge this order. If this will help the police sanitize, police the system very well, especially against the insecurity that we have in Nigeria now, is welcome. Then let everybody obey that very law, and it will help the society going forward.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much for that. And now that is all for your newspaper review today, and over to Good Hope to give us the entertainment and sports updates.
All right, thank you very much for having me. Moving on to entertainment, we have a lot of shows that has been happening over the week, but there's one that is prominent. There's one that is so prominent. Lately, Mr. Jerick said something. Sorry, Cooler Boy just said something on his ex profile that the show that we're going to have in Enugu, Fino Fest, that is coming up by Saturday, is going to be a little problem for him and his fans. He commended the Commissioner of Tourism for her great oversight towards things, but then made mention of several things that would be a problem to the show that is coming. Of course, you know that in Enugu, Fino is going to be in Enugu on 21st of, that's this Saturday, and Jerick also has a show too.
That's quite interesting.
Sorry, not Jerick, Cooler Boy also has a show
Quite
too.
interesting.
So they have a show, and now the show is now meant to happen this today, and then tomorrow the next show happens. I don't know what the Commissioner of Tourism would say about that. I believe she's going to bring up the matter and settle them, because these are two homegrown talents.
Is he on the same venue?
Yes, of course. It's just today, this one tomorrow. So fans will wait. Fans will be finished Fino Fest. Fino Fest now comes first. Fans will finish Fino Fest, then go home to return for Jerick. Sorry, for Cooler Boy.
It's good for the economy of Enugu State.
It's good, but the young man, Cooler Boy, on his ex handle, was stressing the need for the fans to also have some rest and also.
So, I am not very conversant with these celebrity issues, but I think the younger of them should, in terms of how do you place it now? Who has been there the most? Fino, right?
Yes.
So the younger one should move his own program either forward to allow that Fino get done with his show. Then they should collaborate.
Of course, as Fino is coming, Cooler Boy all would actually perform. But moving on from that, we have Katefe. Katefe is a streamer, a Nigerian streamer who streams on Twitch. He had the OBO, the 001 of Nigeria's music, came to his live show, and his live show went from 1,000, 14,000 people watching him live to 50,000 people watching him live, making him the highest in Africa so far. And in that same show, he backed millions of endorsements, and that really makes him one of the best in Africa right now. And looking at that, you understand that there's a lot of things going on in the entertainment. Well, going on in sports, like I've said, this is the second year. Exactly today made it 2 years that the World Cup was won by the Argentine team. So I don't know what you think about Lionel Messi. I don't know where were you?
When you mention Lionel Messi, I see Lionel Messi as a god.
Yes, of course.
I see him as the likes of Diego Maradona.
But Diego Maradona did not measure to what Lionel Messi did.
These are different times. When we make these arguments, remember that these are different eras.
Yeah, of course.
So you do not really compare. The times is different seasons.
Yeah.
But what Lionel Messi has done, can only be equated to non-mortals.
Well, of course, it can be equated to non-mortals. And congratulations to the team. They are still 2 years counting. We're going to celebrate the third year by next year. And it's just like yesterday from the match and everything. Moving on in sports again. The AFCON competition is taking place. It's starting next 3 days. I don't know how many of us who are ready to get the match watching, but Paris Saint-Germain yesterday did something that has been amazing and could be remembered in all history. They won 6 triples. Sorry, they have won the Champions League. They have won the Tour de France. They have won Ligue 1. They have won other trophies, and yesterday they won I don't know what you say about it.
That shouldn't be surprising to anybody, given the level of investment that's gone into that team. Is long expected.
It's long expected.
In fact, they are one of the teams that we expect to win every trophy, every competition they go into.
Yes,
and kudos to the owners of that establishment. They've been patient. Coaches upon coaches, trying to put investment upon investment, players upon players, and at the end of the day, it's coming together at a time no one really, gave them the opportunity.
Yes.
And the coach, no one really expected that would do the magic.
I remember they have a lawsuit that Kylian Mbappe won 60 million euros just for compensation, and also FIFA has released their men player of the year and their overall award of the year. Antonio Conte won it for them, and not Antonio Conte. What's that his name? He's the current. Just that he was not the one that took the award. He was the assistant that went to take the award from them, and that really makes it in the world of sports.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Goodhope, for those updates. It's always exciting watching you talk about sports and entertainment seamlessly. Thank you so much. Yes, and then moving over to the stock market update. The Nigerian stock market closed yesterday on a very positive note. Yesterday, Wednesday, December 17, 2025, the all-share index gained 0.26%, rising by 383.71 basis points to settle at 149,842.82 points. Investors saw their wealth grow as the total market capitalization increased by approximately 244.62 billion naira, ending the day at 95.53 trillion naira. The top 5 gainers as at yesterday were led by ASO Savings and Loans, recording a significant percentage surge. ASO Savings and Loans closed the market yesterday at 3 naira 21 kobo, bringing to a plus 200% change. And then First Holding Company yesterday closed market at 39 naira 60 kobo, making a plus 10% positive adjustment, followed by Lasaco Assurance, which closed this market yesterday at 2 naira 75 kobo, making a plus 10% adjustment. Then moving over to the losers, the top 5 losers in the market as of yesterday, the mortgage and insurance sector also saw some pullbacks, with Living Trust Mortgage Bank leading the decliners. Living Trust Mortgage Bank closed the market yesterday at 3 naira 15 kobo, making a minus 10% negative adjustment in the losers yesterday. And then followed by International Energy Insurance, which closed the market yesterday at 2 naira 27 kobo, making a minus 9.92% negative adjustment. And then finally on this list is Chams Holding Company, which closed market yesterday at 2 naira 92 kobo, making a minus 6.41% negative adjustment, bringing the total volume of market yesterday at 651.18 million shares that were traded, and a total bill of 25,180. And then we can tell that the market yesterday had a very positive breadth, with 39 gainers and 23 losers. The market activities was led yesterday by EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, which is traded as ETI, that dominated the activity chart yesterday with over 5.2 billion shares traded, largely due to massive crossing that was witnessed in deals and instruments yesterday. And please do remember that before you make any investment in the financial market, consult an expert certified financial market analyst. place due to the volatility of the market. And do remember that the market is open and trading is going on as we speak. We'll bring you the market update by this time tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you very much for that. And now that is all for today's Sunrise on ANEKE TV. Please do not forget to follow us across our social media platforms, across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, all at ANEKE TV. And don't forget to call our phone number 070-3043-7110. It's always a pleasure having you here every day. I am Deborah Wakaba.
And Mr. Goodhope, it's good to have you on the Sunrise every morning. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. And I'm Uche Osai. Remember, you're not here to be average. Be unique. Keep watching ANEKE TV to come your way same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.